I promised to show you some more ideas of my mysterious scene builder project there. In particular, how do we deal with characters and how do we deal with the building the scenes themselves? And I envision this to be there for there to be like two types of ways we can let people do it. Either manually, like bit by bit, almost like in Lego blocks, we give them a series of blocks and they place them in certain positions to build their own scenes. Those scenes can then be either distributed somehow via something like our marketplace. That's kind of an idea. Or we can give them pre-made scenes or I'm saying, because it's a good idea to have a combined approach there, or we can give them pre-made scenes that we make from these assets that we give them with a content pack. So like, for example, an outdoor pack could have, I don't know, cloud, sky, mountains, grass, bushes, trees, that sort of thing. And we can let people place them individually, or we can give them the opportunity to choose a pre-built set into which they can walk around and say, yeah, I'm going to choose this corner and, be that as it may. A bit like in the Firewatch game, where we can literally walk around and pick a corner that then has environmental effects and subtle movements, and we can then just pick that as a backdrop for our character. And then the characters themselves, well, that's a little trickier. I mean, the Sims have something like that. This is what it looks like. You can either randomize features and then a completely different character with different hair and makeup and clothing comes up and a different body shape. Or you can let people do this individually, so you can pick the clothing, you can pick the skin color, you can pick the skin details and the hairstyle and the gender, of course, and literally edit certain aspects of the mesh, or let that be editable on the mesh. So we could do it like that. I'm sure we can come up with something slightly better than what EA have come up with here in the interface. So this is just an idea that I'm still exploring, but this is how I envision it. We can, of course, sell characters like that as well and just have different options available. But in regards to the interface, it is much faster for prototyping to pick a generic character rather than having to think about it. I like the idea that we have both options, but I also like the idea of people being given like a generic type of character, just if they want to tell a story and say, this is my character 1, this is my character 2. It's not necessarily about what the character looks like. It just needs to be a different one than that one, that sort of thing. So that's one thing. The other thing I wanted to show you is, of course, how we can build the scenes, and so that's something I've been looking into here with the Subnautica game. In fact, with the new Subnautica game, which is the Below Zero game. Let me show you around. So this is an outdoor environment, and technically this is exactly what I was talking about. If we had that as an outdoor environment, we have mountains and we have a sea and we have backdrop mountains, so you can have a mountain set or whatever, and you can have water in there. And this is what people could be given, into which they can wander around and say, okay, great, I'm having maybe this. There's a few penguins there, and I've put snowmen in there, and that's where I want my character to be in front of and have a scene, have a dialogue with someone else. So that could be an outdoor type scene that we can let them build, or something that could just be something pre-made. But the real magic, and this is why I'm showing you Subnautica, is the habitat builder. So we know this as a simple tool, and usually we need resources, but this is a creative game mode and we don't really need that. And we can build things like this now, like a large room. And I'll show you in a moment how to do that, but just as an overview, we could let people build all this from Lego type components. And there can be different things for each content pack. So, table, chairs, walls, plants that hang around, corridors, windows, different types of chairs, different types of lighting. These are jukebox speakers here. If we walk around here, there's our favorite crisp machine, there's a corridor, and so forth. And this has, of course, got the Subnautica color scheme, but they've got some really cool ideas, and I can't wait to see where this is going. Like, these are some of the new modules here. And this is how I'm envisioning this could be, one corner of a pre-built thing. This could be another corner of the pre-built thing we give them, or we can let people go in and do all these things themselves, and perhaps even go and modify something that we give them as an idea, like fish tanks and all that. Let me go out here and show you how we can build all this from scratch, and this is kind of the idea for that interface that I've had. Here's a nice wide open space that might work. There we go. So one click and the thing is built. It's of course we have got the water to deal with, so usually, you know, in our environment that wouldn't really happen. And in our case we also need to have a hatch so that we can actually get into here. There we go, that's the hatch, so now we have an entrance. I'd also like for this thing to have a glass roof. So that's also something we can do in the new Subnautica. Put the glass roof on top of this thing. And there we go. If this was a real game, I'd have to go and add electricity. Now we don't have to do that, so we can just go in and there's our room.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Complete with glass ceiling and water effects at the top. So this is a blank canvas, but what we can now do is say put a room separator in here before we deck all this out. So maybe we're going to cordon off this piece here, and that is, I think here, large room partition. Put it in the right place and just go build it, and then build some more. You can either build a whole wall if you want. But what I like about building it like this is that these pieces easily snap into place, and I don't have to faff around with the, oh, that was wrong, I didn't want to do that necessarily. But hey, just as an example, what I don't have to do is fiddle around with my little manipulator tool and do something that at the end of the day it doesn't look great. So I can just go, and these doors now have this automatic opening animation attached, and this is just very nice if I can build my environment like that. I put my scene together just like that. So say we needed a fish tank. Oh, that's an alien containment, isn't it? That's not the right one. A fish tank is, I don't know, somewhere there. That's the fish tank. So we can put that anywhere we want, perhaps slightly away from the door. There, fish tank. Now all we need to put this fish in here. And so components like that, I really like the idea of building something with just fun and ease, and deck out my whole story and then start prototyping what I'd like the story to be and how I'd like to tell it. Jukebox, we can probably put some speakers here. And just keep going like that and do it really fast. And I think the real potential then for us is also that we can go and give people the opportunity, if they have crafted a scene, that they can distribute it via our marketplace and share it with others, even if they wanted to charge a fee. So that's something how we can really leverage this thing and then make money for the next, foreseeable future with it. So it's a good business plan, that we make the marketplace happen, and then just make sure that people who want to do business, that they are properly licensed and registered there, and we just take a cut of each of their commissions. That's exactly how eBay or Amazon or whoever does it. Yes, let people sell, let people make money with their creations, but essentially we're giving away or we're selling this type of software that makes it possible for people to build these things with relative ease, and of course also then with a lot of fun. So I think that's really, really important. Yes, I'm obsessed with the idea. I can't stop thinking about it. I really don't know why this has got me so obsessed, but I think the possibilities that we have here and the way this whole thing could look is just absolutely mind-blowing and magnificent. If we can build scenes like this with that sort of detail in real time without there being this agonizing process that we have to invest hours and hours learning a software that's badly documented, I'd like for people to have fun and do this casually, and out of this relaxedness will eventually come creativity and creative ideas, and I think that'll make the world a better place. So there we go. That's part 2 of my scene builder. Part 3, perhaps we'll explore how we're going to do this business-wise, how we're going to set this up, who we're going to contact, see if we can put our minds together, if we can roll this project off the ground. Oh yes, that one other thing I've been thinking about, rather than just giving people the option to create still images out of this, all these things here, they have kind of subtle animations. So if I go over here to the aquarium, for example, then we have the subtle animation of the plants here. I suppose if we go away from Subnautica for a moment and have a look at the Firewatch game, if I pick this as my backdrop from the Firewatch game, for example, and I'm going to put my character right on the path there, then there could be a subtle idle animation on the character, just so that he or she is in place and breathes, and the hair wafts in the wind, that sort of thing. And so that's one option, to export that, and then we can possibly, if we're going to make it into a story storytelling tool. We can then give them the option to either make subtle animations through the environment, following the character like in a third-person game, or we can do it so that we can internally kind of export short little video clips and let them export that nicely blended on top of one another. So basically build a scene from I don't know, 10 or 12 scenes, and then just have the program automatically animate these so that they come one after the other. Yeah, so that is currently what's going on in my head, and I'm not entirely sure what has got me so obsessed in this project, but it's just a fun idea to explore, and I would love for a tool like that to exist. I've got some ideas of who I could contact. I'm not sure if it's going to come to fruition, but I think I'm going to try and put a pitch together. By all means, if you have any ideas, please let me know in the comments. That'd be really appreciated. And perhaps we can, go together on this, whomever this may concern. I think it's a great project. I think it's a good thing to have. And there's also a good place to literally just dream up something that could become in time a really cool project. Thanks for watching and happy thinking.